Everything you desire is waiting for you to claim it. There's no creating involved, only invention through imagination and building through action. You are at the center of all your desires, dreams, and achievements. Welcome to Designing Your Life Today, the podcast that's all about your success, achieving your goals, building wealth through your business, and building your most passionate, powerful, magnificent life. Discover ways to use your purpose to connect you to serving others and living your dreams. I am Pat Council, and I know you are built by design to win. And it all begins with knowing how to tap into your success energy. Let's get on the path of discovery, decisive action, development, and unwavering dedication to your life's calling. It's time to embark on a transformative journey where your deepest passions become your most rewarding achievements. Embrace your power to shape your destiny, because this is your moment to do life with power. Hello, Power Up Nation. I'm Pat Council, and welcome to Designing Your Life Today. Let's talk a little bit about how to step into your power. This is Wonderful Wednesday, the day that we kind of take a look at ourselves and really get to know ourselves better so that we can boost our confidence, have stronger self-esteem, and most importantly, understand what it means to be powerful so that we can do life with power, and so that we can embrace the idea that we are built by design to win. So with that being said, I thought, you know what, this is February and this is all about you loving you. I know we always talk about loving someone else and how we're supposed to love everybody else. Love your neighbor. But it also says love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's what the scripture tells us. So if you don't love yourself, if you can't embrace yourself, if you're always afraid of what someone else is thinking about you, saying about you, then how do you love someone else? So let's make this all about you. In order for you to step into your power, you have to first remember who you are, or you need to get to know who you are, because we live in a society where we're pretty much told kind of what mask to put on so that we can fit in. As a matter of fact, we're given a mask based on stereotypes that are painted. And that's not how it's supposed to be. So we put on a mask, we look a certain way, we dress a certain way, we act a certain way, so that we can be accepted by, let's say, a particular group or the masses. And we think that that's what's going to make us more successful. You know what? If that worked, there wouldn't be so many people on different, medicines for illnesses and that kind of thing. And I'm certainly not making light of that. I mean, sometimes people need medicine for other things, of course. But so many people who don't feel good about themselves, and they look in the mirror and they don't even like the person that they see in the mirror. And they spend more time saying the phrase, "I'm sorry," for no reason. Even if the person says, "Excuse me," and they've done nothing, "I'm sorry," instead of saying, "Okay," or something. But the point is, it's because of how we've been programmed to feel about ourselves. So when it comes to being successful, it is really important that you understand who you are. And you can't be successful if you don't step into your power. Now, let's jump right into this. So, who are we really? Well, who you really are is, let's say, you're a divine, powerful being who was created by God. And you're put here to serve a purpose. And that's a phenomenal thing. So as a human being, that's why sometimes, and I'll get back to this in a moment, sometimes when I hear people bashing other people, and granted, they may have done something wrong, a lot of times politicians, because they're so in the public, and we see them all the time, they're such an easy target. But I have to remind myself a lot of times that, these are living souls who have a spirit and they're in a human body. And so as a result, these people have feelings, and it's not just about them having feelings. It is about me recognizing that perhaps they don't know how powerful they are. When people do things that are counterproductive, to their lives and the direction that they want to go in, and they break a law or make a mistake, it's because they didn't really know who they were. They don't know who they are. So think about that. So now you know who you are. You're divine. You're a divine, powerful being created by God, and you're put here to serve a purpose. Now, in order for you to step into that power, knowing who you are, you have to kind of do a kind of what I call a rediscovery, and take the time to remember. When you think about babies, a lot of times they come into this, when they're born on this earth, and they're in their little cribs and they're just giggling and they're smiling, and sometimes they're doing it and no one is around to entertain them. And so the thing is, it's not until they start to be taught, let's say, things that are counterproductive. Well, because your dad is a lawyer, you're going to grow up and be a lawyer also. Or whatever, because your mom is a doctor. You're going to grow up and be a doctor because you're a female. Simply by virtue of the fact that you're a female, this is what you're going to be. Now, just full disclosure, my dad was not a lawyer and my mother was not a doctor. So I'm not talking about myself. You guys know what I'm talking about. Me, I always tell you, it's me. So the thing is that you want to do that rediscovery. And how do you rediscover yourself? Start by asking yourself, who am I now? Everything is in the present moment. All your power exists in the present moment. So in order to step into that power, you have to know who you are in the present moment. So ask yourself, who am I now? Because you know what? You might not have asked yourself that for quite some time or ever. And you may not have noticed how much you have changed. I recently had a birthday this month. And one of the things that I do every year is I reflect on the previous year to see what I could have done better. I reflect to see what have I learned. And then I ask myself the magic question. Okay, I know who I desire to be, but who am I really? Who am I now? Now, once you're able to answer the question, who am I now? And so, of course, you want to write these things down and of course, spend some quiet time with you. Now, after you ask yourself, who am I now? And you write that down. Here's the big question. The question is, do you like who you are? You see, if you don't like who you are, you say, well, I don't like my life. I don't like my job. I don't like how things are playing out for me on a daily basis. I don't feel fulfilled. If you're saying these things to yourself, then that tells you that you have not stepped into your power. You have the power, but you're not owning it. You've passed it off to someone else, or you're letting someone else dominate you and tell you what your life should look like and who you should be. So the other side to that is, if you do like yourself, then the questions you want to answer, or the question is, what qualities do I like? Write down what you like about yourself. It's okay to write down what you like about you. It's okay to say something good about you. We live in a society where it seems like that's not a good thing, that we're supposed to be self-deprecating so that we can fit in with other people. You know what? To me, I've never agreed with that. And I understand kind of why the person who, and I don't remember his name, but this was a suggestion by someone who says, if you want to make friends, you kind of want to put yourself down a little bit. Oh, silly me, I'm not that good at that, and that kind of thing. I think it's ridiculous, to be honest. If you have to do that to fit in with that group, then you need a new group. Now, of course, they were making the suggestion for people who work on a job. In other words, if you have a manager that's over you, or your boss or whatever, and they're responsible for you getting a promotion, sometimes they can be a little jealous when you come and show your full authentic self. You see, so when you're doing that, then now what they're thinking is, oh my, this person thinks they're smarter than me. This person may outdo me, especially if it's a manager who's going to give you some kind of review. But then you have to make a decision. Why should you have to shrink so that someone else can feel good? So write down the qualities that you like. On the other hand, if you don't like who you are today, hey, never fear. This is the beauty of life. You can change that. Then you want to write down, what qualities do you dislike about yourself? Now, this one is a little tricky. This next question, you want to ask yourself, what qualities do I feel like I'm missing? And you're going to say, okay, how do I know what qualities I'm missing? Well, pay attention to the qualities that you dislike about yourself. What is it you dislike? For example, if you dislike the fact that, let's say, you spend too much money, or you don't save money, or you're not good at doing a budget, or you won't even take the time to do a budget. If that's a quality that you dislike, then that tells you a quality that you may be. And when I say missing, that quality is in you. You just need to activate it in some cases. Some things you have to learn. But sometimes if for example, back to the budgeting, if that's one of your issues, then the quality that you're missing is perhaps a person who needs to learn about financing. You're not financially savvy or financially literate as you would like to be. Okay. Or you don't get excited about what your finances can do for you, or having enough finances, money can do for you. So think about that. So what qualities are you missing? Write those down. Now, here's the next question. And see, this gets easier, you guys, because this is about you stepping into your power. And just because you're not using the power, it's there. So when I say step into it, I'm saying step into it because it's all that power is in you. It's around you, and it's pushing you to go in a direction that will allow you to fulfill a purpose, to achieve your goals, to have a fulfilled life, to be excited about life, to be happy about life. So the next question is, once you are able to identify the qualities that you're missing, and sometimes, as I said, sometimes the qualities are in you, but because of, let's say, a confidence issue, you may not let that quality, raise its head. I mean, some people will tell themselves that, yeah, I'm not good with money. Well, that may not be true. Perhaps you don't slow down long enough to add 1 + 1 to realize it's $2, that is. So think about that. Okay, so what quality? Maybe patience is a quality that needs to come into play. But patience is in you. You just have to activate it. You just have to stimulate it and allow it to come forward. How do I know patience is in you? Patience is a fruit of the Spirit. And these fruits are in us, the seeds. We just have to activate them. Learn what they are, and really, on a daily basis, practice them, just like, weightlifting or exercising of cardio of some kind, if you do that every single day. But the thing is, what qualities are missing? And then the next one, what can you do to change that? See, this is taking you somewhere. So when you start to answer these questions, what it's doing is it's taking you to the point where you can actually step into your power, release that power, and be super excited about the goals that you set this year. Now, in order for you to really get beyond these qualities that you feel like you're missing, or to deal with these qualities that you dislike, or to make some changes, you know what? When we don't make a change, it's because we have not decided that we want to make it. We've not agreed with ourselves. And yes, you have to have an agreement with you. You have to have an agreement with yourself that, you know what? Perhaps I'm not these qualities that I dislike, perhaps a lack of confidence. You might wish you had more confidence. Well, that's a fear factor. So you have to decide, I'm going to overcome my fear. I'm going to be bold. And you know what? No matter what these qualities are, I am going to make these changes. And the beautiful part about it is you don't have to take really big steps. You can take any steps. I mean, tiny little baby steps toward your more authentic self, towards that feeling of freedom and what it looks like for you, and allow that joy to come out. And when you start to do that, you're going to see that life is going to start to open up for you more. And the energy that you're going to start to put out, it is going to bring opportunities your way. And you're going to evolve into that amazing person, or that magnificent person you've always wanted to be. So now you're stepping into your power. Now, another way that you can step into your power is you have to kind of get rid of the judgments, how you judge yourself so harshly if you're doing that, and the fears that you know that you have this fear. For example, a person who wants to be a speaker, and they're like, wow, I'm afraid to get in front of a crowd, but in their heart of hearts, they know they would be a phenomenal speaker. So you have to deal with those kind of beliefs and those judgments and those fears that are really not a part of you, or they're not supposed to be a part of you. So find what empowers you, what brings you joy, what brings you freedom. And you know what? Tell yourself, I'm going for it. And it might be a little bit scary if you've never done it before, because now what you're doing is you're now unlocking your power. And the more you do it, the easier it's going to become for you. The truth of the matter is, when you don't step into your power, it means that you're subduing your power. You are shrinking yourself for someone else's sake. And one of the things that you want to consider doing is create a plan for yourself that's based on trust. In other words, you have to trust yourself. You have to trust that whatever decisions you make, that these are going to be decisions that will work out for me. And keep in mind that you have to take faith with you, because it's only a lack of faith and a belief in lack that will keep you trapped, that keeps your power from showing up. So you have to let your faith come out. I'm going to give you an example of how this works. Sometimes, even now, we've been hearing this for I don't know how many years now, that the economy is not good. Of course, these days it's pretty good, or getting better. And so we hear a lot about the economy, how the economy is not good, and oh no, we're on our way back to a depression and these kind of things. And there are people who have lost their jobs during the time especially when the economy was really down. Okay. And they lost their jobs. But you know what? What happened was, because they were put in a position, kind of a sink or swim position, or survive or not position, so to speak, they allowed their power to come out. At that point, they stepped into their most authentic self, and most of them emerged as successful entrepreneurs. Most of them became extremely successful and also extremely wealthy. So these are the people who found out, first of all, who they really are, and then they redefined their lives. See, when you redefine your life, what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to evolve. And evolve meaning this is coming out. This is a real thing. You allow yourself to evolve into that person that you've seen in your mind, that person that you've carried around in your hearts, that person that you've always wished that you could put on display. Not necessarily for the rest of the world, but for you. Because the minute you put that person on display, guess what? You are walking within your purpose, and you're doing some amazing things. So think about this. This is how, and I make it sound simple, but you know what? Go through the questions and really make some decisions about stepping into your power. Because stepping into your power is really about fully embracing you and making no apologies for who you are. One final thing about stepping into your power. Sometimes one of the things that stops us from stepping into our power is there are situations from our past, and we're allowing those situations to hold us back. We allow those situations to slow us down or stop us. Listen, pull your attention away from situations that you can't change. You can't change the past, and focus on situations that you can change. This is, first of all, how you are what they call taking your power back. And taking your power back means that you are allowing that power to come out, because the power, it has never left you, so to speak. Okay. Now you may feel tired because you're allowing everyone else to drain you. But in reality, if you're focused on a situation from the past, that nobody's taking your power. You are giving it away. You are draining you. So decide that you're not going to do that anymore. And then you want to focus on the situation you can change and use it to create the life that you desire, that magnificent life, and design your piece of the world the way you want it to be. You know what? If everyone did that, there would be less complaining and less people whining about everything that's going wrong. When people complain about what someone else isn't doing, or gossiping about what some politician or some celebrity isn't doing, and they actually have time to do this, and of course, there are people who get paid to do this, but when people are doing it like in big numbers and they're judging that person, it's because they don't want to look at their own lives. Take a look at your life. This is how you step into your power. When you start complaining about what someone else isn't doing, you're thinking they're going to fix, it's going to make you feel better, or somehow that will fix your life, and it won't. Listen, been there, done that one. This means that you have to find that love within yourself. And with love comes courage, the courage for you to be you, that person that you've always wanted to be, that person that you're so super excited about. Think about that. I get to hear these, not a lot these days, but every now and then I still hear people talk about what they wish they could do. And they look at someone else and go, wow, that person is lucky. And sometimes I just want to say to them, first of all, there's no such thing as luck. God has already given you your gift and talent. You just have to nurture it and work it. Okay. And you're going to get the outcome that you're looking for, the outcome that will excite you, while at the same time, you're going to be helping a lot of other people. No matter what that gift is, even if it's entertainment, you're helping people feel, for the moment, you're helping them feel entertained and de-stress. Okay. So the point is, just embrace you. Be excited about you. Stop looking at the rest of the world thinking that they have something that you don't have, that they can do something that you can't do. Now, in reality, if they can sing and singing is not your gift, yeah, they can do something you can't do. But you better believe that the gift that you do have is just as good, and it's designed to help make this world a better place. So with that being said, these are some simple keys for stepping into your power. And as I wrap up, I want to encourage you to, again, spend some quiet time with yourself, show yourself a little bit of love, answer these questions, and make some decisions. What do you want your life to look like? This is not an age thing. If age pops up, shut it down. Make the decision. In your heart of hearts, your spirit will bring you ideas. You will be guided. Okay, your soul will be ignited. It'll be excited. And so take the necessary action. Listen, you guys, I want you to have a magnificent day and do life with power, knowing that you're built by design to win.